This is End User Talk, and in this series, we're sharing real stories. From first time riders to seasoned road warriors, we talk freedom, fear, culture, and community through the lens of two, three, or four wheels. Motorcycles aren't just machines, they're mirrors. They show us who we are when nobody's watching. I'm Jamila. This is End User Talk, presenting MotoZoombie, a rider's POV. And I want to thank everyone again for joining and participating or listening to another In User Talk episode. Today, we have in our segment of the motorcycle lifestyle journey or experience at whatever point you are in this, we've got us another guest who lives it, who I don't want to say breathes it, but definitely emotes what you would assume motorcycle riding and the motorcycle experience would be. So today on the podcast we have Georgia Biker Life. Y'all might know him as Skoota, but we've got Georgia Biker Life on the podcast today, and I'm so happy. And I want to thank you first and foremost for accepting my humble request to have you here on the podcast. But before we get started, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, and I want to go ahead and start this off with it's your boy Scooter, and I want to appreciate you and your platform for letting us join today, so we can just sit back, talk about the lifestyle, the feeling, what it brings, the ups, the downs, the all when it comes to the two-wheel lifestyle. And I like to say lifestyle because it is a lifestyle. It's not something we just do. It's a part of who you are. And I just want to appreciate you for this beautiful Sunday getting us out here so we can talk with the people and get my point of view of how it's been to be a biker for the last 16 months.
You know what? They say something about Sunday. So Sunday
Sunday
is
fun day.
right. So this would be the perfect day to talk about that. How did you get started? How did Georgia biker life come to fruition for you?
My story is definitely my story. So my father passed away going on 3 years. And once I went to his funeral, me and my brother, we went. Of course, we knew our father owned a motorcycle. His story is he's always haven't been a Harley rider, but he has dabbed in two wheels. I think back in the 90s, man, I used to go out in the garage. He had an old Yamaha, probably Yamaha 1500, 1200, but it was a cruiser type bike. Never seen my father on a sport bike or anything like that. But me and my brother also knew that he was a hardworking man. We never seen him ride or enjoy it. And from that point, he used to always tell us, I'm gonna get a Harley one day. I'm gonna get a Harley one day, and I'm gonna wait till retirement. But he ended up getting him one, and he moved off to Louisiana. I'm born and raised from the state of Georgia, and my father moved out to Louisiana. So I never got to see him on his bike, but I knew he owned it. Seen him put pictures on Facebook. Me and my brother also we knew he was a rider. So fast forward, we leave the funeral. We pay dues to my father, lay him to rest, and then we get back to the house, and I'm packing my bags. We finna get ready to get back on the road to get home. And his wife came out, and she had that blue envelope. And if anybody know what that blue envelope is, that's that title envelope. So I seen she had the envelope, and she had a set of keys. So when she gave me the keys, I seen the Harley Davidson logo on the key fob. So all this still running through my head, and then I see the title, and I'm just like, what's this? What you want me to do with this? I need to go put it somewhere in the room? Like, what's going on? And she was like, no, before your father passed, he told me to make sure I did something, and I'm gonna do it. And that's giving you his bike. He wanted you to keep his legacy going, inherit his bike, and it's yours. So I'm still at don't know what to do, never rode dirt bikes, nothing. We didn't grow up riding, four-wheelers or anything. Had friends in the neighborhood who had them, but me, myself, personally, never owned one at all. So I had no knowledge, no understanding when it came to operating, cranking up, anything when it comes to definitely a motorcycle. So I got back home. We laid my father to rest February 5th, and my birthday is on the 8th. So I woke up on my birthday. This was the first birthday without my father, not hearing him say happy birthday. So I just woke up and it was on my mind. And I didn't know his bike was here in Georgia. So his sister and my uncle, they stay out here in Georgia, and he already set up everything because the bike was actually here in the state of Georgia. So I called my auntie. I say, Auntie, today my birthday. It's just one thing I really want for my birthday. And she was like, what is that? I said, I want to bring my bike home. Reached out to a friend of mine. He had a truck and a trailer. Get out there. Didn't even need a trailer because he was telling me that, something was wrong with his. We get out there. Not only did my father leave me the motorcycle, which is sitting behind me right now as we do this interview, but also the trailer that's sitting behind it. So he had everything set up. Got it home, sat on it, and I just remember taking the first photo picture of me and my son sitting on that bike. And it was February 8th, 2 years ago. And that was something that started me into even thinking of riding a motorcycle because now I'm a owner. So what do? You just get handed a motorcycle, do you? And it's inherited. So it's no option to sell. I'm not looking at selling it. I got a garage to keep it. It's no headache at all. So I said, I gotta ride it. And that's how I started my two-wheel journey on motorcycles.
Well, that is definitely, first off, condolences in the loss of your father. Every journey definitely is unique in someone's first experience in riding a bike. You have the ones who have always done it. They started very young, and then you have those of us who blossomed a little bit later. When you inherited your father's motorcycle, and again, not being someone that was riding yourself, were you self-taught or like got on it and just tried to figure it out on your own? Did you do the motorcycle safety course? How did you gain your legs and the courage to get on the bike and start riding it?
So that's another thing that's just I tell a lot of people that do come into the two-wheel journey and even thinking about getting on a bike. It's a first time for everything. And I said this in one of my first, videos on my YouTube channel. It's actually a short of me starting off just really trying to pull it out of the garage and push it back in. The battery was completely dead. I didn't have a trickle charger. Again, I'm not a motorcycle owner, so I have no tools or anything. Once we got the bike home, it wouldn't crank. So I didn't hear how it sound. I didn't hear the radio. I didn't know anything. So I'm like, one day I'm just sitting here and I'm like, at least I need to get used to the weight. It's a big bike. It's definitely intimidating. I remember getting on and just to pick it up, and have my feet planted, my heart was racing. Like, what do I do now? Then it went from that to bagging it out to definitely learning that just a little hump over your driveway going into your garage from your driveway you got to do some squats for that. So even in that point of learning how to just back my bike up and put it back in the garage, not cranking it, no learning RPM, none of that. Just literally learning how to sit on, kick the kickstand up, back it up, and push it back in the garage. That was like first beginning of how I'm gonna start. That's how, again, newbie, new. I was brand new, so all of that I never had to you know, learn any of this because I never owned it. So I never played on motorcycles or knew the weight and how to lift it up. And I've even learned things with that. You grab the bars and then you go ahead and counter collar, you turn it before you try to lift it and it helps you lift. So I've learned so much through this process, but definitely just maneuvering the bike, sitting on it, getting the feel of just the bike itself, from my perspective, was very important for me before I even crunked the bike up or even thought about riding. It took me almost a month to get it out the driveway. So it was definitely a process that I started from the very, very bottom of.
I guess that would be another lesson to learn as well. Now, the Harley that you have, it's important. You mentioned the weight, and being able to learning or knowing how to handle the weight of your bike. May I ask what type of Harley do you have?
So I have a 2013 Ultra Classic. and it's a electric glide is what they can call it. And also people that don't know, you have the road glide, and then you also have a street glide, which is basically bat wing and a different type of fairing. And the fairing is what's on the front of your bike and how the front of your bike looks. So I have a bat wing, with the trunk and everything. This is a full dresser. And when we say full dresser in the Harley world, that means this bike has every extra part, which meaning lowers, the trunk. I have saddlebags, the whole nine, the whole shebang is on this bike, and she comes in at about almost 900 something pounds, roughly. About 900 pounds. So she is a big bike. To be a beginner, a lot of people think that you go get on an Iron 883 or smaller frame bike, shall I say, or even when it comes to sport bikes, I'm gonna start with a 250 or 300. But with me, I want to inspire people to not only understand that you can jump into something with no type of knowledge, that don't let the size of the bike or the weight of the bike scare you, because you can do it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And I feel like with my situation and my father being behind me and keeping me covered through this whole situation, I think I just had that extra drive and a little bit more ambition put on top of learning this and taking this on. And guys have actually told me and my brother, man, y'all grab this thing by the bull horns, is what they'll say. Ever since I got a twist of that throttle and really held them handlebars, is something that I do for the rest of my life.
I'm telling you now, when I'm watching your videos and I'm seeing you ride, it looks like you've been doing it for years. You've seen there's just a sense of confidence, there's a sense of you're comfortable. Now clearly you do mention in the videos that, you're still learning. It's definitely there, but if there were no audio on and I was just watching those your videos and I was just watching you ride, I would assume you've been doing this for years
Well, I
because it
thank you
looks
for
so
that compliment.
comfortable.
That's definitely a compliment, and I thank you for that. If I don't want to get off topic, but just how me and you say content and shooting YouTube and basically recording my journey. And that's what I tell a lot of people. I'm pressing the red button on a camera device that is capturing rides, conversation, but I don't call it content. It's documenting my life of a motorcycle rider in the state of Georgia, the people I meet, the places I go, the things I think, the way I feel, the weather, just really just embracing and letting people know what everything is doing and how it feels to be a motorcyclist. And it don't have to be a Harley. It doesn't have to be. I'm that type of guy. I know it's kind of go both ways depending on what type of biker you are. But a biker is a biker. If you ride two wheels, if you put on a helmet, if you have to put on safety gear, then that's just something that we all have in common. So just like they say, we all put our pants on the same. As motorcyclists, we all put that helmet on the same. And when we hit that strap up that helmet and it's time to go and we put those gloves on or those boots or that riding jacket, we all become one. So no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter what age, no matter what you ride, what color your bike is, we are all one. And that's what I love about this whole, motorcycle community. It is a community that if you're not a motorcyclist, you never knew exists. How you just said, just from the outside looking in, you didn't even know it existed at all. But now the fact that you are a part of it, you are part of the black biker culture. You're a black woman that rides a motorcycle. So not only did you just fumble upon that and start getting into that 5 years ago, the fact that you're a part of that only 5 years in shows how much that this community will draw you in with the way you can see what motorcycles do for the people. Well, I can. I'm speaking for myself, and that's just something that I really embraced. For me, getting out of that fear, breaking that fear, and working on my faith is something that at the time that was what I was going through spiritually. That was part of the journey too. Like I tell people, yeah, I have a motorcycle journey, but I also, like you said in the beginning of us talking before this conversation, is that we're all on a life journey. We're all just trying to live life. So part of this journey is also fighting my fears. And who's not scared of a 900-pound bike that never rode before? Yes, I was scared. I tell the people, yeah, I have that same thought process you have when you walk into Harley or you walk into a motorcycle dealership and you see this big bike and like, nah, I can't do that. It's no way. I'm here to show people and tell people you can do it. And I want people that want to do it to know that they can do it, and they should go out there and fight their fears and conquer their self goals, not what they think motorcyclists are, or what they think they should be doing, or how they should be riding, or what bike they should be owning. Again, me and you were just talking about having that, just being yourself, having your own identity, even when it comes to being a motorcyclist and what you wear, how you ride, and where you go. Just have your own identity to it, Do it for yourself and nobody else, and you'll enjoy it.
And that is so true. And there's nothing wrong with fear, but what we do have to learn when it comes to fear, we can't allow it to paralyze us, to prevent you from being whoever it is, accomplishing whatever goal, preventing you from being great, overcoming, that life within itself is just a myriad of obstacles. And not all obstacles are bad. But if you don't go through the obstacle, just like you'll hear someone else say, if you don't open a window, or if you don't go through the door, you'll never know what's on the other side waiting for you, or how you'll become evolved as a result of just taking that leap. And the unknown also is very daunting. If it's something that you are thinking about doing, now clearly our conversation today is solely going to be about just this motorcycle journey, the experience, and what it's done for you, how it's helped you in your life. What we do want to do is respect fear. Now, clearly, sometimes not having fear gives you this false sense of security that you can conquer all. Now, that works for some people, but it doesn't work for everyone. Definitely respect the motorcycle, respect the speed, respect the power, respect the responsibility that comes along with putting on that helmet, throwing that leg over that seat, you know.
Yes, it's definitely a dangerous hobby, shall you say. But I also know, like you just said, you have to respect all things in life. And no matter if it's the motorcycle, no matter if it's your boss, no matter if it's yourself, that respect will have it where you wouldn't have to fear what's coming next, because you're doing everything in your knowledgeable, physical way of being able to do something. You're using your head, shall I say. As people say, he just wasn't using his head. That's one thing about, it's not about speed. I'm not into the whole, doing 100 miles per hour on the highway and going around curves doing 60 and, scraping the pegs, as they say in the motorcycle world. That's not just something I've never been into, even in my vehicles and my cars. I've always been a laid back, cool, classic look. Even with my bike, man, perfect bike. I love the classic look. I come from that era of just sitting back and throwing one hand up over the steering wheel and cruising in your old school or in your car to, be riding around doing 100 miles per hour, speeding everywhere we go. I know speed brings nothing but crashes. You're just speeding up the process. So when I'm out there, I'm being very responsible. I got to do better with my safety gear. We're being real today, and I'm talking to all the bikers that's out there. I don't like to use that word comfortable, but that word confidence is definitely what it is. And I like to tell anybody who's listening right now, nobody can teach you confidence. You can't learn confidence at the MSF course. You can't learn confidence from the guy or the gal who's teaching you how to ride, or your brother, or your group of friends. Confidence is built within. And the only way you build that is by, like you're saying, going out there and conquering, and going out there and saying, today I'm going to ride 100 miles. And you can literally just get out on your bike with no destination, put your trip meter on, set a goal, and ride around. Stop and get you something to eat. Make sure you do your 100 miles, because that was your self goal that you set, and you want to conquer that. And each time that you do those one and two little steps, the feeling that you get of accomplishment, and back to that confidence that it will build for the next ride, because you like, man, I went a whole 100 miles. I went through this many lights. And, even with me, I got caught in the rain and I did it. I did it. And it's just a sense of, that's what builds that confidence. And it comes with repetition of riding that bike. I know my bike sound better. I understand the throttle more. The more and more I ride her, she teaches me how she want to be ridden and how I should ride her. So every motorcycle is different. That's why in the motorcycle world, we don't just jump on other people's bike and just thinking, oh, we got the same type of bike. No, every bike, every throttle response and clutch, friction zone is totally different on a lot of bikes, depending on the bike you're riding. So just really becoming one with your motorcycle is very important. You should know that bike like the back of your hand. Always pre-trip and post-trip. Check on your bike. Do you wipe your bike down, y'all? Because you'll know if something's leaking. Little things that I've learned that helped me through this journey is just being one with my bike, just being there, even on that ride, literally paying attention. You don't have the room to, go off in la la land and get the daydreaming while you're riding. And it's a saying that says every time you do it, is you're gonna notice that if you felt like you was veering off and you was just thinking and just not really paying attention, next thing you know, a pothole come up, a little bump, boom, and it literally just is there just to let you know, huh? No, tighten up, tighten up.
That's
So,
right. Wake up. That
we got to be
reminder.
safe out there. We
That's
definitely
right.
do have to be safe. But I don't want anybody to let fear stop them from a feeling that me, you, and other motorcyclists have felt, and we can explain to them. And if you don't mind, I know you're interviewing me, but how was that feeling for you as we even talk about, the first time you really not just learned how to ride, but you got that first real ride in where you pulled back up and you was just like, I did it. Do you remember that feeling and how that felt?
I have to say there were probably a few of those moments because
That's what I like to hear.
yeah,
Yeah.
there were a few of them. Like you, and the downside with my, well, I got a scooter first. It was a 2025 Honda ADV 160. If you watch my earlier videos on my YouTube channel, you'll
And
see
I have. Yeah.
that.
You like black. I see you like the black.
Wesley Snipes said, "Always bet on black."
They
But
say
no, I
it's
do.
nothing like owning the black bike. A lot of
Right.
people say that.
I love it. I love it. I guess the first time I accepted delivery of that motorcycle, the man that dropped it off, he was just looking at me. He was like, "She don't know what she doing. She don't know." And I sat and I struggled, and my driveway has a slope. So I've never ridden any motorcycle, anything like that, any motorized two wheel. Only a bicycle is my only two wheel experience. But I he pulled it up the driveway for me and parked it, but I had to get it inside the garage. And I didn't know anything about the controls. And I have to say that the man that delivered, he was very patient and kind. And he told me, well, this is this and this is that. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna leave. He said, you got it? And I said, I think so. And I did not have it. My neighbors were standing outside looking, and I was conscious of that, and I pulled that throttle too far back, and it ran right into the garage. It hit the wall. I pulled the handlebar brake, and I was like, okay, let me get this done. I was embarrassed, so I got it done, and I closed the garage door because I know, just like anybody else, if I had witnessed one of my neighbors, I'd have been laughing. So,
It happens to the best of them. It happens to the best of them. We have
but
a lot of those videos, and
yeah,
for your experience to be that, and for you to keep going, that just shows the drive that you had. Because again, you didn't have a good first experience, and you kept going. So, and that's what this is all about: is just to keep riding, just
it
keep
is.
riding,
It
get
is.
better and better.
And I knew that I had to pull that scooter out the and down that driveway if I wanted to get the experience. And like you said, it definitely does take or doing things in fear. I think is
Hmm.
probably the best way to say that is because doing it in fear and then overcoming that fear as you're doing it. And it doesn't happen one time. It's
Nope.
going to be multiple times because the next fear I had was getting on the highway or taking it on the
Yeah.
street. But the highway was my biggest fear. That was my
Yes.
biggest fear.
I gotta go fast, and it's gonna be a
Man,
lot of cars.
oh my gosh. And the wind, I didn't expect the highway wind and the wind of the cars and not panicking. So,
What about that first 18 wheeler you have to pass?
oh
Oh my goodness.
my
Ooh,
gosh. And then
you
just
get on the
knowing,
throttle then though.
man, I'm telling you, because if you don't,
Yeah.
you're gonna be get swept up. But I mean, I knew even in driving a car, my grandmother used to tell me you don't ride next to an 18 wheeler because the
Ooh,
wind under those tires can it's like a vacuum. I have a more powerful motorcycle now that has a lot more power. This one likes to go. You got to respect what
that
this
bike.
thing can do.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
definitely have to.
you
That's why it
got to.
reminds me of a horse. If a lot of people don't know, that's why people say, the bike is in the stable, and you know, um, not only am I getting on my bike, but I'm mounting, and I'm saddling up things of that nature. And it's because me and my brother, it's just from our experience. We sit here and all we talk about is bikes. Since me and him joined this whole lifestyle and what we've been doing is it's like this is all we. When you said breathe, you was correct. This is really all I sleep, breathe, and eat. Now I'm at the dealership. Come on, man. This bike's all day, every day, and I love it. I love every bit of it. But we used to talk about how it's more like a horse. It's like how a horse could be good all day and you've been riding and then she just be like, boop, get off of me. Or
Hmm.
it's just like you get this feeling of, nah, I'm not gonna ride today. You just go out there and, look at your bike and say, I'm gonna take the car today. Those feelings I think it's just such a universal connection and it's such I have never had this connection with any other, like you just said, automobile or any type of other means of transportation. Because a lot of people might look at it like that, like, really, I just bought a bike to commute. It saves gas. You have those bikers. Me, this is my life. This is my therapy. This is my joy. This is my happiness. It's a lot. It's not just transportation. My car, my cage, my four wheeler. That's my transportation. That's what I get in if I need to go to A, B through Z. But this bike, I'm just leaving the driveway and I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going. And when I end up there, that's where I be, and I'll be back when I get back. Time stops. There's no rush. There's no time clock. I don't know how long I've been on my bike. I don't even look at the time. It's so many things where I realize that I'm able to disconnect from the everyday electronics, and you can't be on your phone and still text messaging and still, people riding, doing live TikToks now and all this. So it's like that bike takes me away where it's just me, Pearl, and that's the name of my bike for you all that's listening. It's just me and Pearl, and it's the road. And times it's my brother, and we enjoy it. Me being able to have that bond with him, spend that time with him, to actually find something that we enjoy and love. Not just enjoy, but actually love to do, and to be able to do it with my brother is something that I don't take for granted. That's another part that God has blessed me with that journey. That's a part of my journey is that my brother was willing to take on this journey too. He didn't have to want to ride. I didn't make him, but I just came to him and was like, we going to the MSF course. He didn't even have a bike, but I said, I got to learn and I ain't going by myself. And back to that fear, I just really wanted my big brother out there with me, and that's just really what it was. And just like a big brother, he was there for me. He's like, shoot, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spend 200 with you too, and he even went all out, and we got a hotel and stayed out there in Conyers for the weekend, and all of that is on my channel. If they just go down and see the MSF course, if y'all haven't seen what the Harley Davidson MSF course is or what it does, I have a whole 3-day process of the experience that it was for me and him to go out there and get our license and endorsements and that was the start, man. That was the start. My brother did it without even owning a bike. So for you guys thinking that you gotta save the money and find the perfect bike and then go get your light, no, go get your endorsements and then you're definitely gonna be that 100% step towards purchasing a motorcycle or finding a motorcycle for you. Just go to the MSL. Of course, I learned so much. I remember you asking me that earlier. I want to answer all your questions, but definitely I did take the MSF course. Nobody taught me and my brother how to ride because you have to be careful with that community. Anybody who's listening right now, it's okay for your best friend, your cousin, your dad, or anybody to teach you how to operate a motorcycle. But one thing I learned is that it's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and some people really have bad habits, and that's just truthfully what it is. They might be teaching you the right way to operate, but the wrong way to ride. And going to that MSF course, they're taking you through the whole process of not just learning how to ride a motorcycle, but being a biker, having the brain and the knowledge and the thought process of being a motorcycle rider, defensive riding and running over things. And, again, back to these obstacles, oh, they got them for you. They got us, they got over 15. How many was, Jay? We had about 20 some scenarios out there. 18. Yeah, you got 18 scenarios that you're gonna have to do, the figure eight, all that. So welcome to the lifestyle, and they definitely break you in. And what I love about the Harley MSF course is that you got guys that do this for a living, but also ride for a living. It's not like you just going somewhere and it's somebody that went to school and got the knowledge. No, these are bikers that's teaching you how to be a biker. And that was something big. So definitely look up your MSF course in any one of your states. Harley dealerships, certain locations do it. Just type in MSF course or go on the website, Harley Davidson website, type in your zip code, and all the ones that's available, times and dates are going to pop up in your area.
I went through the MSF course through Harley Davidson as well. Let's talk about those things that have developed on your channel, just to kind of give someone who hasn't watched or seen or didn't know about Georgia Biker Light. What has are some of the most exciting things or the things that you're proud of since creating your channel?
Really, one thing that always going to be dear to me, and I tell a lot of the people that I've met that's my subscribers, and what's heartfelt is I read every comment, and I embrace, and I keep that one-on-one, you shall say. Anybody who comment, I'm going to respond. I'm going to reply. You did not have to take the time out to do it, but it's so many that I could read off. I wish I probably would have had, a couple lists to all the guys and the women, the men, the kids, whoever did the comments and left the comments, that they're so touching and personal. They're telling me about their lifestyle and their journey and how I'm inspiring them and to keep going, and that I'm doing something that helped them. I had guys in their 50s say, "You inspired me to go take the MSF course, and I'm going to get my first bike, and I'm 55." And when you start to hear, that I'm doing God's work, and I'm inspiring people to get out that comfort zone, and I'm showing people, through my eyes, and we call it POV, and that POV stands for point of view. So I'm able to get a platform where people come to every day. YouTube is probably watched over any type of TV network these days, and it's all about, streaming and things like that. So it's like, for me to be able to touch the people through this platform was very major. So the comments to me is number one. Even being a YouTuber, the fact that people take the time to let me know how they feel and what I'm doing for them is hands down number one, because it's all about the people. And then of course you got things like the people I have met through content. I got guys like Skeeta. I got guys like Sensei and LT and Extra. All of these guys, they have their own YouTube channel. They have been doing this way before me. These were the same guys, you know, ripping on two wheels. It's like we all ripping on twos. Trey, GQ, me and you have talked about. These are people that I've been watching way before I even signed up for the MSF course. So me and my brother had a thought process saying, like, if I can watch people video and pause it and rewind it, I'm looking at the way people throttle. I'm zooming up on their gauge to see how many RPMs they was at when they switched gears. And I'm just kind of getting a look at motorcycle before I even go to the MSF course, because I was scared to fail it, because I'm like, I don't know how to ride. How do I supposed to come to a course and ride a motorcycle and pass if I don't know how to ride? So I had so much going through my mind that I wanted to just go ahead and start a YouTube channel so I can. It was all about, and it always will be about, beginner bikers, and not getting so caught up in watching people that's, MCs that's been riding for 15, 20 years, 30 plus, probably don't even have a license, never went to the MSF course. It's like I heard so many different things when I got into the motorcycle community and started asking questions and being around certain people. that I just had to realize, like, wait, I think this whole thing needs a different point of view and this whole big old broad. And a lot of people like, how would you get, a lot of folks look for certain content and niches is what they call it to get into. That's, oh, it's not that many people. I said it in the beginning of my YouTube, each one reach one, and we all can teach one. So if I continue to get one view, one like, I'm going to continue to upload. That was my motto going in, and that will be my motto for the rest of the journey of me creating content and recording and showing my journey. Being able to embrace the beginner section of people that's coming into this that don't might not have the money to go buy the newest bike that's out and can't go get the 2025 or 26 Harley, but nah, I got a 2013, man, or whatever it is that they can see throughout my 15, 20, 30-minute hour video. If I can just drop one gem or one thing in there, then I did my job as a content creator. I feel like we as, I never will call myself an influencer, but we as the people who may inspire others through the things that we do and say, we need to hold ourselves accountable to that. And I do. I'm not misleading no one. I'm not, telling anybody what to do or how to do. I'm literally telling you my story, my testimony, letting you watch and come along on my journey. And anything that I can give or say, you ask and you shall receive. And it's just like I'm here for the people. So creating that channel, Georgia Biker Life, was clearly to reach as many beginner bikers out here who's living the life that me and my brother is living, getting into something that they had no clue about, pulling up at bike nights for the first time, just learning the politics and, everything that that comes with riding, because it's not just riding, it's a lifestyle. And that's what it was all about. And the last thing I would probably say, just the top three, is like even now, you reaching out to me, and the only reason why you reached out to me was through that YouTube channel. When I found out who you were, and you one of my, like, hands down biggest supporters with Instagram. My Instagram sucks. Instagram, me and you'll talk, these platforms, we platforming, you hear me? You got all this algorithm. I don't play none of those games. I'm
Right.
real. I put up what I'm going through, and you have always supported me, hands down. You like everything. You comment. You was always DMing me. And when I found out that you found me on YouTube, and I'm just like, and then I'm like, who is this? Who is this? So it was like this mystery supporter and that I had for almost a year. And for me to sit here in 2026, I want to give you your flowers and tell you that keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about, as long as this interview reach one or two, three, four, eight, don't 500, 5,000, or five. We have to understand that long as we got our word out and, got out the things that we wanted to talk about and bring to enlighten people and bring to the surface, that's what this whole podcasting and the whole interviewing is all about. Is, again, we thanking you for giving us the platform. People are waiting on these huge big platforms. No, Scooter gonna go to every platform that reaches out to him, no matter what size it is. And guess what? We gonna grow together. Again, I'm never bigger than the program. I'm never bigger than motorcycling. I'm never bigger than YouTube. I'm never bigger than anything. I'm just gonna bring Scooter to whatever I got going on. And if you need Scooter, you want to talk to Scooter, if you want to ride with Scooter, you just reach out to Scooter, and we can do whatever you want to do. It's like that's what I love about this. I never would have met you if I didn't make that channel. Think about that.
Right. And that's what I will have to say as being a newbie rider. I am truly grateful to and for all of the motorcycle enthusiasts who have been in it for years and or who are just being introduced like myself. What I can say I appreciate about this motorcycle community and me being introduced to the various YouTubers and their channels, you can meet them. You can have a conversation with them.
Take a picture, go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's why I
And
said
like you
we can
said,
ride.
that's what right there you go. You can literally DM leave a comment and say, "Hey, I'm going to be such and such. Can we just ride out? Can I meet you here?" Or and I've just seen, I mean, there's so, and I hate to name names because I really and truly don't want to offend or miss someone, or have someone think that, you know,
They're
their
smaller than
impact.
others, or yeah,
Yeah, because let me just tell you something. You can't,
everybody.
baby, you just don't, people, I mean, you don't know the impact. I've watched some of you on your channels and I see your growth, whether it be you started out with your phone camera, the camera on your
Hmm.
phone, and then you've upgraded and the sound quality is better, the visual quality and your cinematic. And I'm not, what I gravitate to in this, I'm just going to speak to me personally, is seeing the human element behind it, seeing the struggle,
Yes.
encouraging people, and that, hearing you people say ride your ride, and not being forced to join a motorcycle club, but being embraced to say, all bikes are welcome. And if it is a motorcycle club event, all motorcycle clubs are welcome. I'm
Yeah.
looking at
You're a
people,
motorcyclist. You pull up too. We all two wheels.
man.
We all got something in common. Just because you don't have a cut on or a vest or a patch or
Yeah.
not wearing leather or nah, we all take on that. Like how we say, man, when we throw those tools down, when we ride past each other, when we come down and we throw those tools down, one thing about it, we're saying keep those two wheels on the ground. And we all taking this opportunity to get on this bike, and it's a risk every time. So when we see each other, the best thing we could do is embrace and love on each other because, like you were saying before, not to scare anybody, but your last ride could be your last ride. So it's like let's really embrace each other and the love, and that's what I think is so big out there. And even me, like you said, the love that I've gotten from you and everybody, every single person. If you're listening now and you met me or you told me or you commented and you do, subscribe or you are on my Instagram, I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I mean that because without y'all, there's nothing. Without the people, we don't have nothing. There is no views. There is no content. There's nothing without the people. So the people is the most important thing. And then the bike. All of us have bikes. So it's like we all come together on this one object, this one machine, this one build, this thought from 1903. Harley thought of this in 1903. And we're here in 2026 still sharing the vision that they had in 1903 of bringing people together to ride motorcycles, to go across country, to get out of your comfort zone, to leave your state. Do you know how many people may not have ever left their state or probably would have on a plane because they don't like to drive? And you know how many people hate driving but love riding a motorcycle? Because you're not driving, you're riding. You're not,
Yeah.
it's totally different. So this, like I said, it's a life changer. And if you're looking for a new experience, if you're looking for to do something new outside your comfort zone that's going to be amazing, fun, extremely, extremely fun, I would say. Get you a motorcycle. Start wherever it is you want to start at. Get whatever manufactured bike, whatever company you want to go with, but do it and reach back out to us and say, you know what? I did it and I see what y'all talking about. And that's all I want to say. I see why everybody ride the way they ride. I see why no matter how cold it is, you still want to ride. I see why there ain't that much rain. I can ride in that because you want to ride your bike. You really just every day I would get on it. I can't wait till, spring come around and I can ride every day, all day. The days that I can't ride, I just be like, man, I wish I could ride into work today. It's just something I enjoy doing. It's a I'm not gonna say a cheap hobby, but really I look at it like what other hobby you put $15 in the tank and you can go 200 miles. You can leave and go 200 miles out of your area with $15. Man, they
Man,
sold me on that. That's the
that's what I'm talking
Alabama
about.
state line for me. I'm all the way in
That's
another
right.
state off $15.
That's right. That's right. Man, I tell you what, time sometimes is not kind in that it we can't get everything in this conversation. But what I do hope is that anyone who is listening if motorcycles aren't the outlet that you're looking for, because everything isn't for everybody, and we have to
No,
respect that as well.
yeah,
But if nothing else, I'm hoping that within our conversation today, that someone can reassess their lives and look at what hobby can they get themselves into, because it is very, very important for you to have your mental health.
you gotta have something that you do that set you and put you in a place that you like to be. Again, we can't look for someone else to give us that or a thing. And this is a motorcycle is a thing, but what I'm saying is it's something we're doing on this, and it's just something that I fell in love with. And like I said, I'm not pushing. Hey, everybody in the world. I kind of do say everybody in the world needs a motorcycle. I feel like that because
Right,
you
right.
can learn how to ride, and I think it'd be safer. Me and my brother talk about it. It'd be less traffic. It's less cars on the road. It's less. We could take that to a whole nother level. But yeah, I really think that mental health wise, if you're dealing with issues, if you are out there and you are overly, I'm gonna speak for myself before we go. If you do have anxiety, if you do overly think, if you do live in fear, if you do second guess, if you do, you know, procrastinate, man, them top five things that I have changed so much. This motorcycle has helped me change so much in those five aspects that these are five things I wanted to work on in my regular life, y'all. Remember, this is a two-wheel life. But by me being in this two-wheel life, I was able to work on those five things that now I always implement in my regular life, into my marriage, into my job, into myself. So now I don't procrastinate to go to the gym because I don't. When I say I'm gonna do something on the bike, I do it. It just teaches you. Well, I don't think I'm gonna go out there, or it's finna rain, or it's finna. All of that. Your thought process. I'm speaking for myself. My thought process and the way I look at things have majorly changed since I became a motorcycle rider. I look at life totally different. It has calmed me down when it comes to being impatient. I'm not such in a rush. I actually look over my shoulder in my car when I'm getting over on the highway because that blind spot is there no matter if you're in a car or a bike. So it's so many things that it has brought to me and deeper than just miles, 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 and murals and state lines, and I get that, but I wanted to let the people know how much it really helped my regular day, everyday life just by being able to ride my motorcycle and learn how to cut my brain off and learn how not to, well, if I go here, it's traffic and I need to go this way. Do I want to go? Just go. You will never ride your bike if you don't change that thought process. You're never gonna really do what you want to do. And this is for the people that want to do it. If you've been thinking about riding, if you even see people on a motorcycle and you be like, ooh, if whatever it is, something that's drawing your attention to motorcycle, the lifestyle, the look, whatever it is. Like me and you were just saying, it's something. Some people like to just wear leather vests, and that's what they end up with a $50,000 Harley over just liking the look like
Hmm.
a biker with boots and a vest. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever brings you, to this whole world, just know that we're having fun over here. The two wheel. Big shout out to anybody and everybody that rides two wheels, three wheels. That's just out there outside that cage. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who gets out there and enjoy this beautiful land that we live on here in America, man. Just being able to see the beautiful places and the views and the landscape that God has created out here, the picture that He has painted. You really miss a lot of that being in that car or being in that Jeep or that truck. If you get on these two wheels and just see what we can see, you might be hooked like me. And that's just how I want to end it. I just want to let people know that we here to support you. You can do it. And it's a fun hobby. It really is.
I concur and I definitely agree. There's some beautiful country out there, and there's nothing like being on those like you said, outside of that cage, outside of that vehicle, being able to feel a part of the landscape. I'm grateful and I'm appreciative for you trusting me and you accepted my invitation. This has been a great conversation. It's been a great experience. I know we didn't get to touch on everything, but what I do want to do is make certain that you have an opportunity to let people know where they can watch your, continue to watch your journey, and any other information about yourself that you'd like to share with those listening.
If you're listening right now, this your boy Skoota. You can go over to the YouTube platform and type in Georgia Biker Life. All one word, Georgia Biker Life, and you'll catch my full channel over there. Also, Georgia Biker Life, one word, on Instagram. And if you're on TikTok, I'm Two Wheel Scooter over there. The number two, Wheel, Skoota. And again, I want to thank you before I get out of here and let you know that this will not be the last interview. So any questions that we was not able to get to today, if y'all stay tuned, y'all go ahead and subscribe to her channel. Stay tuned for episode 2 or 3, 4, 5. We'll talk about that.
Y'all
But
heard him.
we're definitely locked in. And I
That's right.
appreciate you again for reaching out and giving us the time, giving us the platform. And J Dot coming next. Shout out to Haugen Lanes. You know, he's definitely gonna be coming to do an interview with you as well. My brother's channel's taking off. He's doing great over there. And he's been, of course, number one supporter of been there in Georgia Biker Life since day one. We actually came up with the name together. He was there when I hit the button of creating this channel in my garage. So y'all stay tuned, and we got so much more to come for 2026. And I appreciate you again, and I'll talk to you on the next one.
All right. Thank you, Scooter and Georgia Biker Life. Y'all subscribe, reach out. And if you have any questions about Harleys, definitely hit Scooter up on any of that. We've come to the close of another episode of the End User Talk podcast. I hope that what you've heard today will leave you feeling empowered. Thank you for listening. And remember, every day's a training day.